From Wendy's to Taco Bell, it's pretty hard to deny the fact that Americans have eaten a ton this year. Literally. A study done by the USDA shows that the average American eats approximately 1,996 pounds of food annually. As basis for comparison, that's about the same weight as an Asian gar. You know, this guy. While eating a lot does sound great to many, the consequences of this lifestyle are horribly detrimental to one's health. This large intake of unhealthy foods result in a silent but deadly killer, heart disease. Now, before we move on, it's important to understand what exactly is heart disease. Although there are various forms of heart disease which people suffer from every day, they all some way or another relate to a process called atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is a condition in which a thick substance called plaque develops in the arteries, making it more difficult for blood to flow throughout a person's body. Sadly, 610,000 Americans die every year due to this deadly disease, revealing it to be the #1 cause of death in the United States. What's especially alarming about this statistic is the fact that more people die of heart disease than of cancer, stroke, and diabetes. But, unfortunately, it gets worse. Now that we're aware of what heart disease is and its prevalence in our society, it's appropriate that we finally pose the question, why? Why heart disease? Why not any other disease? As sad as it may sound, the fact that the world around us contributes to cardiovascular disease is painfully true. One of the many secrets the food industry is hiding from its consumers is that the food they claim to be healthy aren't quite so healthy once they make the transition from fresh to processed. More processing means a greater profit for the company and less healthy food for us. Although processed foods do have the advantage of being more convenient, this convenience means an abundance of added sodium, fats, and sugars. Let's take a look at this bottle of orange juice. Remember this, kids? Well, if you actually bother reading the ingredient list on the back of the container, you'll realize that many unhealthy ingredients go into this bottle. Some of them being modified cornstarch, aka chemically processed cornstarch, processed fruit juices, canola oil, which most likely contains GMOs and loads of trans fat, and a whopping 27 grams of sugar for a single cup. Given this information, it's not a shocker that the same concept can be applied to other popular foods, such as Kudos chocolate chip granola bars and veggie chips. Yet day after day, we still turn on the TV every morning, seeing foods we think are healthy, but really aren't. This is extremely harmful to people who are already struggling from diet-based diseases, since their pursuit of a healthy lifestyle is being hindered by the bright screen before them. Unfortunately, it's not just commercials that plague Americans with poor dietary habits. Meat is a staple part of the American diet, and the U.S. is the second highest country worldwide in meat production. Numerous studies have proven that eating meat is linked to heart disease, yet the consumption of meat has risen rapidly since the 1900s. Cholesterol in foods such as pork, beef, and lamb can easily raise blood cholesterol levels, causing various health problems, some affecting the heart. The American Heart Association has also spoken out about how studies show that vegetarians seem to have lower risk of obesity, high blood pressure, heart disease, and various forms of cancer. The video clip I'm about to show you is of Dr. Joanne Kong. Dr. Kong is a compelling advocate for plant-based nutrition, and here she will further explain the benefits of vegetarianism and veganism.
Overall, vegetarians have a longer life expectancy and substantially lower rates of heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, cancer, obesity, osteoporosis, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and the list goes on. Vegetarians may be missing out on grilled hamburgers at picnics, but they also tend to miss out on the major health problems that plague many Americans.
In the fight against heart disease, we Americans are losing. Without taking action, it's likely that we will continue this trend with high chances of things getting worse. What can you do to help win this battle? Well, first of all, you can donate to the American Heart Association and the Heart Foundation to help further research about heart disease. There are numerous things you can do on these websites to help those struggling with heart disease, but we'll get to that in a second. Next, don't trust everything you see in commercials or online. It's probably safest to assume that they're lying to you, and research the foods you're eating before letting it enter your body. And finally, limit the amount of meat and processed food you eat. The stuff that's good for your body is oftentimes the fresh, plant-based foods.